If you're trying to use ChatGPT for business strategy, this video will show you how to turn it into a serious strategic thinking tool instead of just a generic chatbot. We're going to use it to pressure test ideas, spot risks, analyze competitors, and build a practical 90-day roadmap you can actually execute. And if you want more tutorials like this, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Alright, let's jump in. First, open ChatGPT in your browser and sign into your account. Once you're inside, the key is to stop asking broad questions like, is this a good business idea? And start asking smarter questions that force deeper analysis. ChatGPT works best when you give it a role, a goal, and a specific outcome you want. Let's start with pressure testing and risk assessment. This is one of the most useful ways to use ChatGPT for strategy because it helps you find blind spots before they become expensive mistakes. Instead of asking for encouragement, you want honest criticism. A great prompt for this is to ask ChatGPT to act like a highly skeptical venture capitalist. Then, paste in your business idea, your offer, your target market, or your launch plan. Ask it to identify the 5 biggest risks, the most dangerous assumptions you're making, and any red flags that would make it refuse to invest. This gives you a much more realistic view of your strategy. For example, if you're starting an online service, ChatGPT can help you think through things like pricing pressure, weak demand, poor positioning, customer acquisition cost, and operational bottlenecks. The point is not to let AI make the decision for you. The point is to use it as a thinking partner that challenges your assumptions. Once you get the response, read through every risk carefully and ask follow-up questions like, which of these risks is most likely? Or, how would I reduce this risk with limited budget? That's how you turn a simple prompt into real strategy. Next, use ChatGPT for competitive positioning and gap analysis. This is where it can help you find the white space in your market, the opportunities your competitors are missing. To do this, give ChatGPT the names of your top competitors and ask it to analyze their messaging, pricing, target audience, and product strengths. Then ask it to identify what they are not doing well, what they are overlooking, and where your business could stand out. This is especially useful if you're in a crowded niche and everything feels saturated. ChatGPT can help you compare the tone of competitors, the promises they make, and the type of customers they attract. From there, you can ask it to suggest 3 differentiated positioning angles you could own. For example, you might focus on speed, simplicity, affordability, or a more specialized audience. The more specific your industry details are, the better the recommendations will be. A strong follow-up prompt is to ask ChatGPT, based on these competitors, what market segment is underserved, and what message would make my business the obvious choice for that segment? That's a powerful way to use AI to sharpen your brand positioning and create a clearer strategic advantage. Now let's move into one of the most practical uses of ChatGPT for business strategy, building a 90-day tactical roadmap. Big goals are important, but strategy only matters if you can break it into action. So instead of saying, help me grow my business, give ChatGPT a specific business objective, like launching a product, reaching revenue targets, or building an audience. Then ask it to divide that goal into weekly milestones, monthly KPIs, research tasks, and execution steps. For example, if your goal is to reach a certain revenue number or launch a new offer, ChatGPT can help you outline what needs to happen in weeks 1 through 4, then 5 through 8, and so on. You can ask it to include market research, product development, content creation, outreach, sales, and review checkpoints. This makes your strategy far more actionable because you're no longer staring at a huge goal with no direction. You can also use ChatGPT to help you prioritize. Ask it which tasks will have the highest impact, which ones are optional, and which ones should happen first. That way, you're not just getting a plan, you're getting a smarter sequence for execution. And if your business changes, you can update the prompt and regenerate the roadmap anytime. Another best practice is to keep refining your prompts. Don't settle for the first answer. If ChatGPT gives you a generic response, add more context. Tell it your industry, your budget, your audience, your team size, and your timeline. The more relevant detail you provide, the more strategic the output becomes. You can even ask it to respond like a consultant, a founder, an investor, or a chief strategy officer, depending on the perspective you need. So the real formula here is simple. Use ChatGPT to pressure test your ideas, find gaps in the market, and turn your goals into a step-by-step strategy. That's how you move from random prompts to real business decision-making. If you found this helpful, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe for more tutorials, and let me know in the comments what business strategy topic you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.